drop the link for the workbook.
All right. Sure. So there's the link to the workbook is in the chat. Let me unwhite out the screen.
I also emailed the workbook to you guys. Should also have it in the email.
Yeah, I probably should have told you guys to make sure you had the workbook open.
Yeah.
It's all about learning. Oh, wow. Does it disappear?
Okay. I'm going to be opening the breakout rooms, and then you'll get a notification at the 2-minute and also the 1-minute for as a notification, warning message for breakout room going to end message. So I'm opening all the breakout rooms right now.
Awesome. Welcome back, everybody. How was that? Was that as fun as it sounded? All right. Each of the statements in the assessment corresponds with a particular trait of a healthy team. There are 5 traits, according to this training, of a healthy team, and they build on one another. You may want to take notes in your workbook. But here it goes. To build a quality, to build a quality team, a quality club, you need the first, which of course, trust. Trust needs to develop vulnerability-based trust. Teams need to develop vulnerability-based trust among the members. When trust is built, team members are comfortable acknowledging their own weaknesses and strengths with each other. The best way to build trust is for the club president to set an example so members feel comfortable following. As someone who led many Toastmasters teams, trusting is very important, and especially if a team leader is not trusting of their people who are working with them, they're going to end up having to do all the work because people don't like being micromanaged. As somebody who is in the tech field, Agile only works if you trust your team members, or it's just a manager micromanaging every little thing that you do. Trust is essential in building a quality team. Next thing that's important is healthy conflict. People are different, so we got to learn how to work together. There are 2 types of conflict: destructive and constructive. Destructive conflict occurs when team members engage in actions and behaviors that result in increased antagonism instead of resolution. Constructive conflict occurs when team members express disagreement without hostility and with a commitment to effective resolution. In my normal life, I am a software tester, and being a software tester, my entire job is to bring up conflict by telling the developer they did something wrong. My job happiness is much better when I give it constructively as well as it's received constructively as well. So, can you think of any personal examples, non-club related conflicts in your life? And basically, if anyone is willing to share, what is an example of a destructive conflict that you've encountered? If you can say your name first, if you're willing to share. Everybody's shy here? And no one has ever had a destructive conflict at work.
Peter Horn has.
Yeah.
Okay, Peter. I'm sorry, I can't see hands. Okay, Peter.
This is well in the past, since my working days are behind me. But throughout my career, I tended to work on what happens when things go wrong, namely faults. Fault handling in the engineering world is something that often gets dismissed by management because they think, oh, we're going to design something perfect. It's never going to have a failure. And then when it does fail, they wonder, well, why didn't we have any indication? Because they didn't pay attention to that particular part of the system. And I found myself having to justify my existence far more than I thought I should, especially given that I worked in products that had a rather high danger factor if things would go wrong.
That is a good one. I'm in software testing and I've had jobs where if I made a mistake, I had 3 managers coming up and talking to me. I felt that was destructive, as that just made me more afraid of making a mistake and then being encouraged to find one. So I agree with that.
Yeah.
Does anyone have a good example of a constructive conflict that you've encountered? Say your name or raise your hand, please. Remember, we're Toastmasters, so we are here to speak. All right. Do you have another one, Peter? I didn't know if you raised your hand on purpose.
I was trying to not put it down and the system automatically put it down, so I wound up putting it back up. I probably have many, but I can't go into too many details. Coming from the tech world, there are things that I can't share too much about. I will say that we had a situation maybe 30 years ago where we were designing a series of products. And in the first one, we didn't know everything that might be pertinent. So it was an imperfect set of products. When the second batch came around, we were able to work with both our developers and with our end users to refine it to something a little bit different. In this case, it was rather simple. It was telling the people doing the physical design to turn the box 180 degrees to put the hinge on the other side. But it wasn't something that would be obvious because all of the manuals that we had up to that point showed it on the side where it was getting in the way. So what we had to do was explain to them, well, this is what it shows, but if we do the other way, we can have a much better product. We can shorten our wire lengths. We can use some different components in there that will do a better job for us.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing. Healthy conflict refers to a team's ability to passionately disagree and have productive debates about issues that are important to the team. In order for healthy conflict to occur, all team members must trust one another to focus on an issue at hand and not let politics, pride, or competition interfere. Even though constructive conflict is preferable when a team works through and recovers from an incident of destructive conflict, it builds confidence that a team can survive such an event. It is important to focus on listening to other people to hear what they are saying, not formulate your response. Seek to understand before being understood. No, opposite of what I just said. It's been a while since I read the 7 Habits. It is important to focus. It helps for all team members to acknowledge that conflict is uncomfortable, but the resulting decision will be stronger for it. When you do experience conflict on your team, focus on core values to help you keep conflict healthy. So as a club leader, what can you do to encourage conflict on your team? You can ensure that necessary trust exists on the team. Remind the team reasons why the issues are being discussed. If you feel someone's opinion is not being heard, directly ask them to share it. And when a team feels healthy and engaged, praise. So when people are doing healthy conflict, praise them. The next part, of course, is commitment. There are 2 aspects to obtaining full commitment from team members: buy-in and clarity. When all club executive members share their ideas and input on an issue, they feel they have been heard. It is easier for them to buy into the final decision, even if their idea hasn't been chosen. It is vital that all team members are clear about the final decision so that they know what they agreed to. At the end of each executive committee meeting, ask for a team consensus on final decisions made. Communicate important decisions to the club executive team to help with the next trait. When teams are able to engage in healthy conflicts, members are able to commit to team decisions. So ask yourself, as a club leader, how else can you increase team commitment? You have to make sure the club leaders, officers are clear about their responsibilities and have all club officers sign a document agreeing to their responsibilities. And there's also the club success plan and communication to all the members of the executive team. And of course, next is accountability. When a team is truly committed, it is much easier for the team to embrace accountability. As appropriate behavior needs to be modeled by the team leader in order for the team members to feel comfortable holding each other accountable. Again, this comes back to trust. In order for a team member to feel comfortable holding each other accountable, they need to know that the leader will as well. Yes, it's very important for presidents to not feel that they're above everybody else. They're part of the team. And by communicating team decisions, all team members know what they have agreed to hold each other accountable to it. And the final is results. You're an effective team if you gain results. In order for the team to be truly successful, the members need to eliminate self-interest and self-preservation. That sounds ominous. The focus needs to be on team results, which build off of individual results. Your growth allows the club to grow. You see that in the DCP points. District club points. All members need to be explicitly clear on what team goals are and what they must do to accomplish that. That's why we have the club success plan, the distinguished performance reports. Oh, performance. And the membership building programs. So right now, each statement in the team assessment corresponds to one of the traits discussed. Now it's time to go to page 7 of your workbook and spend 5 minutes completing the improvements in the traits of a healthy team section of your workbook. And at the back, pick one person to share one way they will work to develop those traits.